Hey, this is Pete McGowan, and today I'm giving you a first look at When the Road Comes Around, the brand new August release from award-winning author Katie Powner. Known for her heartfelt, character-driven stories set against vivid rural backdrops, Katie weaves together themes of grace, redemption, and of second chances in a way that feels authentic and never preachy. Readers are already praising this novel for its rich, relatable characters, its sensitive handling of real-life struggles like disability and illness, and a tender portrayal of faith that flows naturally from the story. If your book group loves stories that spark meaningful discussion about forgiveness, hope, and the messy beauty of everyday life, When the Road Comes Around is a perfect pick. And this today is just a sneak peek of what's coming up in episode 10 of Pages and People, where we'll sit down with Katie and another author for full-length interviews that go even deeper into the heart behind this powerful story.
I found Sam a very unique character because a lot of authors kind of shy away from having a special needs person in their book for whatever, because they're harder to write. They really are. So where in your experience did that come from? I mean, Sam is way believable. I mean, it's something I could know.
Yeah. First of all, I really appreciate you saying that because I spent a lot of time in prayer over Sam because that is something you want to get right. That's not something that you want to misrepresent. And that's important to me to get that right. So I'm really happy that you said that. That's who he is. You know, he's been that kid. Everybody knows his dad and what has happened to him. Everyone knows about Tad's mistakes. But the real first origins of where Tad came from as a character came from my experience so I'm a foster parent, and I've been a foster parent for about almost 10 years now. And you run into a lot of variety of people doing that. And one of the people, and I never actually met him, but he had taken in a boy that was a baby who he believed was his because the mother said he was, and he was caring for him. And then a paternity test showed he was not the father of the baby.
Wow.
And the state had to take him from him and brought him to me. And they brought me this baby saying he has been living with who we thought was the dad, but now he has to live with you. And that just really kind of devastated me to think of this guy who he had poured in. He'd bought in and said, okay, all right, I guess this is my kid. I'm gonna take him in. Well, good friends of ours actually run the Breakaway Youth Ranch, which is not far from where we live. And that is a ranch where they take in largely rescue horses or horses that just people couldn't care for them anymore. Like maybe they were elderly or just different things. You know, they come upon these horses in lots of different ways. And then they programs for at-risk kids, especially in the summer. I mean, it's Montana, so you can't do a lot in the winter, but over the summer, they have programs where the kids come, they match them up with a horse, and the child learns to brush the horse, to clean their feet. They learn how to saddle them. Then eventually they learn how to lead them, how to lunge them, and how to ride them. And it's such a wonderful program. And I was fortunate enough to have a small part in as they were starting out. I helped train some of the horses back in the early days of when they were starting, they were trying to get their nonprofit status and they were trying to start their ranch. And that was such a great experience. And so that was really the inspiration for bringing in kind of the horses and that healing aspect of having horses around. I really wanted to talk about that, in the story, because it's so true. I think that God made horses to work, but also to heal. And I wanted that to be part of the story.
No, I'm glad you brought it in there because A, it works so beautifully in the story, but B, it's neat to tell people those sort of stories. It's because I want to write the ending. I want to know in my head, I have Tad doing this, and somebody else might have Tad over here.
Right. And
that.
That's exactly why I like to leave it open-ended, because each person is going to have their own need for what they need to have happen. For wherever you're at in your life, you might need to think that this is what happens next, because for you, that's what makes, it would make me happy to think that Tad does this. Well, so I don't want to ruin that by saying, this is what happens. I want you to have that chance to say, well, this is what I want to see happen. And so then you can walk away believing that, and somebody else can walk away believing something else.